Okay. So we were discussing about this thing. I was trying to explain what is a contravariant tensor. Okay, contravariant. So I consider this curve. A curve is having this equation xi equal to xi of t. I told you what is meaning of this. X is equal to x of theta, y equal to y of theta. If I write x equal to a cos theta, y equal to a sin theta, it will represent a curve. So that is why this will represent a curve xi equal to xi of t. It's a single parameter t in n dimensions. There will be x1, x2, etc. xn. In n dimension, a curve can be represented like this. Then you think about a tangent vector. Tangent vector t is equal to t bar I. Okay, so relative to the respective coordinates, xi, it is one system, and x bar I, the other system. Obey the law of transformation. Okay. So if you look to, let me say some more thing. Don't write this. I'll just tell you some more thing. So this is a tangent vector field. Tangent vector field. So what do you mean by tangent vector field? I just tell you. See, this is a circle. I told you this will represent a circle. And now any point you take here, and suppose I have a tangent here, what will be the equation of this tangent? How you represent this tangent? This tangent will be represented by dx by d theta and dy by d theta. Okay, so it will be a vector with the two components, dx by d theta, dy by d theta. So that will be the tangent to the slope of the tangent at this point. Okay, so the tangent vector, I can write it as dx by d theta, dy by d theta. The components in the x and y directions are given by this. In the same way, I can find out the tangent vector for this curve. Okay, for this curve. So the tangent vector field is defined as ti is equal to dxi by dt. Okay, so this is the way by which the tangent vector field is defined. Okay.
Sir, there are students who are waiting in lobby.
I am admitting. Okay. So ti is equal to dxi by dt. So this is the components of the tangent vector. Okay.
Sir?
Now,
the vector field will be the family of tangents on that particular curve, right? The whole tangent vector field.
Yeah, that's it. See, as I told you, that suppose you take a circle and you take a point on the circle. What is the tangent? Tangent is given by dx by d theta and dy by d theta. Okay, so you have the x direction and y direction. This is the x direction and this is the y direction. So the circle is this. Okay, so if I take any point here, then this is the tangent. What is the equation of the tangent? The equation will be, the vector equation will be, you take the first component. Okay, so any point you take, this point is xy. The tangent there will be dx by d theta and dy by d theta. So this is the tangent. So in the same way, dxi by dt means dx1 by dt, dx2 by dt, dx3 by dt, etc. The components. So if I take the tangent, this is having components t1, t2, etc. tn. So this t1 is given by dx1 by dt, t2 is given by dx2 by dt, tn is given by dxn by d. So this, because this is in an n dimension, this is 2 dimension. So this is n dimension. So the components of the tangent vectors are given by this. So here 1 less than or equal to I less than or equal to n. Do you understand this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now suppose you change the coordinate system. This is in xi coordinate system. So under the change of coordinate system of coordinates, under the change of coordinates, how I am changing? I am going to x bar I. Okay, so this is x bar I of x1, x2, etc. xn. A less than or equal to t less than or equal to b. Okay, so here this is my original coordinate system x1, x2, etc. xn, xi. Now from that I am changing to some other. You know what is the meaning of this? Suppose a rectangular Cartesian coordinate system to polar coordinates I am moving. Rectangular Cartesian coordinate system to cylindrical coordinates or spherical coordinates I am moving. So that's the meaning of that. Okay. So then under this coordinate system, what will happen to the tangent? The tangent vector. The tangent vector.
Hello.
Tangent vector t bar.
Hello.
That is equal to
Sir,
t bar.
what is A and B?
A and B are, I told you, suppose you take a circle. Circle के लिए क्या करते हैं? Suppose I want to represent a circle. Suppose I have the coordinate system here. Okay, so circle means you take this point, and I'm coming to this point, and coming to this point, and coming to this point. Okay, so any point here, if you take this angle is theta. Okay, so that this point will be a cos theta, a sin theta. A cos theta or r cos theta, r sin theta, I can say r cos theta. So r means the radius. Theta means it's a parameter. When theta equal to 0, my point is this. This is corresponding to theta equal to 0. This will correspond to theta is equal to pi by 2. This will correspond to theta is equal to pi. And this will correspond to theta is equal to 3 pi by 2. And this will again come back to 2 pi. Okay, so if my theta varies from 0 to 2 pi, 0 is a number, 2 pi means 2 into 3.14. So it is 2 pi is another number. So my theta varies from 0 to 2 pi. So what is this 0? I call it as A. This I call it as B. Do you understand this?
Yes, sir, got it.
A and B are the parameter limit. This parameter varies from, they are real numbers. Parameter varies from A to B. That's the thing. Okay. So here in xi system, the tangent vector field is T, and in x bar coordinate system, the tangent vector field is T bar. Its components are given by T bar I. So that is T bar 1, T bar 2, etc. Okay. So this takes the form. Anybody is waiting in the lobby? Okay. Takes the form. So how they are changing? That is what I am looking at. That is T bar I is equal to dx bar I by dt by the definition by dt. Because Ti is dx by dt, so T bar I will be dx bar I by dt. So how can I write this? This can be written as dx bar I by dr into, or rather this is a partial derivative is the better option for this. I tell you why it is so. Okay, so partial derivative. So this is equal to del x bar I by del x r into del dxr by dt. Okay, into dxr by dt. dxr by dt. Okay, so you look, this is nothing but a chain rule. You have studied it, chain rule. So dx bar by dt, I am going via dxr, another dxi by dt, I am going via dx bar xr by this one, xr via xr. So it's a kind of chain rule. Now I can write this as in this form. Now you look to this one. So this is nothing but del x bar I by del x bar I by del xr. This is nothing but tr. Okay, if you look to the definition of that, आप इधर देखो, ti means dxi by dt. So dxr by dt will be tr. Okay, so I got like this. Now here is the thing. What is this tr? Tr is a tangent vector to a curve. So tr means, suppose I have a curve like this, and I have a tangent vector at a point. This is the tangent vector, and this tangent vector is denoted by, its components are denoted by tr. Tr means t1, t2, etc. its components. Okay, in one coordinate system. Okay, and in another coordinate system, okay, the same curve is there, and it will have a this tangent. Okay, at this point, this is I'm defining in another coordinate system, and this is t bar I, t bar I. Then this tangent in this system, this tangent, and in this system, this tangent, they are related like this. Okay, and now you look to the definition of a contravariant tensor. How you define the contravariant tensor? T bar I is equal to tr into d del x bar I by del xr. You look back to the definition of contravariant tensor. It was the same thing. Okay, so a contravariant tensor of rank 1, only one superscript, rank 1, okay, transform like a vector. It will transform like a vector. So this, how this vector is transforming, you know, this will have how many components? This will have n components. Okay, what are these components? This you may write it as t1, t2, etc. tn. So this is in which system? In the xi system. Okay, what is the corresponding thing? Corresponding thing in the other system, x bar I. So that is t bar 1, t bar 2, etc. t bar n. Okay, now the question is how these components t1 bar is related to this, how t2 bar is related to this, how tn bar is related to this. Okay, if you change the coordinate system. Okay, so when you change the coordinate system, what one understand is that the components changes. Okay, so how that change? That change according to this law, t bar I is equal to del x bar I. So this is the component of the tangent in system xi. This is the component in, you can see that both are not equal. They are different. In different systems, the components will be different. Okay, and if a vector which transforms according to this law, this called a contravariant tensor of rank 1. Okay, so it should be this law. Now the components in xi system is t1, t2, etc. tn, but the component in X bar I system is something different. See, for example, I tell you that suppose you take T bar 1, the first component of T bar. What will be that? According to you can look from here. So this will be del X bar 1 by del XR. See, this R is repeated here and also here. So it is a summation. Okay. A superscript or suffix which is repeating once here and here, then you mean that there is a summation involved. That is called Einstein's summation convention. So accordingly, this is del x1, then t1 plus del x bar 1, del x2, t2 plus etc. plus del x bar 1, del xn, tn. So you see a single component in the xi bar system, x bar I system, it depends on all the other components in the xi system. Okay, so it is depending on all the other components. Similarly, you have T bar 2 that also will depend on all the components, etc. T bar n also will depend on all the other components. So this is the transformation law. When you, so what is the quantity here? Quantity here is the vector. Okay, the quantity here is the vector. So it is something like a vector like this. Okay, now I am looking to the components of this vector. What is this vector? It's a tangent vector. Anyway, you take it as a vector. And by definition, our definition, this is a tangent vector. Now you look to the Cartesian coordinate system x, y, z. Then I can find out what are the components of this vector. Now I change the coordinate system. For example, suppose I am looking into this vector from the spherical polar coordinate system. And in that coordinate system, I look to the components. Okay, then how I look the components? I have a rho, then phi and theta. So I have to look what is the component in the rho direction, what is the component in the theta direction, and what is the component in the phi direction. Okay, so there the component definition is something different. Here, what is the component in the Cartesian coordinates? X direction component, Y direction component, Z direction component. Okay, so that component will be T1, T2, T3. But when I change the coordinate system to spherical polar coordinates, what are the components? Component I should look in the radial direction. Okay, in the radial direction, that is rho. And then I look to the phi direction. You know what is phi direction is here. You can refer to the graph, which the figure which I have given in the last class. Phi direction and theta direction. Okay, so these components are certainly different from the components in the rectangular coordinate system. But this relation will tell you when you change the coordinate system, how these components are changing. A quantity, a component which change according to this law is called a contravariant tensor. Okay, and what is the example of contravariant tensor? Contravariant tensor, the example is the tangent vector. How the tangent vector is transforming. So it will transform like a contravariant tensor. Okay, and a contravariant tensor of rank 1, you call it as a contravariant vector. Rank 1 is equivalent to a vector. Rank 2, I will tell you it is like a matrix. Okay, so this is the kind of, so this is an example. Okay, and yeah, same curve. Yes. Tangent vector of the same curve. See, I am looking, this is the vector. Vector is same here. And this vector, I am looking from different coordinates systems. Okay, this vector is same. I have a curve. And this is a tangent vector. Okay, now from the rectangular coordinate system, I am looking to the components of this vector. There will be 3 components. in the x direction, y direction, and z direction. So I am finding out the components in all the three directions. Now I am looking the same vector from spherical polar coordinate system of the same vector. That component will be different. So now I am looking what is the relation between the components in one system and the components in the other system. This is what I am looking for. How they are related. They are related like this. You can. That is why I have written this part. This one. The components are. If you look to the first component in the x bar I system, the first component, that component depends on all the other components like this. Similarly, others also. Okay, so this is remember that any arbitrary coordinate system, any coordinate system. This is for arbitrary coordinate system. No, it is not linear. किधर है linear कैसे होगा? ये सिस्टम आप देखो, आप इधर x is equal to r into cos phi cos theta. Okay, so this transformation आप देखो from this is not a linear. It is not linear. The linear, it will be linear. Suppose x is equal to, I am writing some constant 6r plus 5 theta or 5 phi minus 7 theta. So this is linear. But here the multiplication, this is not a linear kind of transformation. You follow me? It is not linear. It is a general transformation. Okay, this is valid. What I want to say is that this is valid for all general kind of transformation. Okay, so
Sir, in the definition of
tell me. I will give. Yes, problems are coming. Don't worry about it. You'll get enough problems. Okay, so see, the problem with this tensor is that initially you find it little complicated, but later while we do problems and kind of things, the idea will be clear one by one. Okay, so because it is such a subject, so don't worry, I will make you clear all these things. Now any other question?
Yes, sir. In the definition of contravariant tensor, you also talked about its order. So what exactly is order of the tensor?
Order means इसमें I write t bar of I. इसका superscript कितना है? Only one. So order is order one, or I call it as rank one. Okay, suppose I have a vector ij, 2 are there. So I say that order 2. Okay.
Okay, so rank and order are the same.
Same. Both names can be used for that. Okay. Okay. So I finally write a sentence below. So all the notes, etc., you write in a margin, and this shows that. So above discussion, then I write this shows that. This shows that. The tangent vector T is a contravariant vector. Tangent vector T is a contravariant tensor. Contravariant tensor. Why it is a contravariant tensor? Because it transforms like contravariant tensor. Okay. Thus, under a change of coordinates, the tangent vector the tangent vector of a smooth curve transforms as a contravariant tensor of rank, or we can call it as order 1. So this is contravariant. Now, the next one, another type of tensor, what is called covariant tensor. Okay, so this is also similar, and then I will tell you the difference. What is the difference between them? Okay. The vector field, I first give you the definition of that. The vector field V is a covariant tensor of rank 1. Okay, this another name is covariant vector. Tensor of rank 1 is also called covariant vector. Okay, provided its components Ti and T bar I. इधर आप देखो ये सफिक्स में नीचे लिखा है, ये इंडेक्स इज सफिक्स नीचे. So that is how I distinguish between contravariant tensor and covariant tensor. T bar I relative to an arbitrary pair of coordinates xi, because Ti is in xi coordinate system and this is in x bar I coordinate system respectively. Obey the law of transformation. T bar I is equal to Tr del xr by del x bar I. 1 less than or equal to I, less than or equal to n. Okay, so now I take your attention to this one. See, how do you define the contravariant tensor? You write like this: T bar I equal to Tr into del x bar I by del x r. Now you see the difference between them. So to see the difference between these two, I have to look into this. Del x bar, x bar hai na? This is in x bar I the system, coordinate system, and xi coordinate system coming in the here, niche. X bar I with respect to xr. But idhar aap dekho, just reverse. xr with respect to xi. Okay, so the rate of changes are different in this case. That means the directions in which they are changing, so they are different. But you will say that when you take the modulus of the vector, that is going to be the same vector, but the components you take in different directions. See, for example, you can imagine something like this. I will give you a rough idea of this contravariant and covariant. See, for example, Suppose you have a coordinate system like this. This is one coordinate and this is another coordinate. Okay, they may not be orthogonal coordinate system. They may be general coordinates. So suppose this is your x1 and this is your x2 coordinate system. Okay, so now I have a vector. Assume that I have a vector like this, some vector in this. Okay, in this system. So when I have this vector, I can consider the components like this. So this is a vector. The components I take like this. One is parallelly up project करो इसको. ये coordinate को parallel project करो. I am projecting parallel to it. And project parallel to this. So it will be something like this. Okay. Again project parallelly like this. And perpendicularly also I can project it. When I project perpendicular, so I will get this. This is a perpendicular projection. Here it is the perpendicular projection. Okay, suppose I consider this vector if I consider, then I can consider this projection, this is a parallel projection, and this projection. Okay, this projection. Okay, so this vector I can transform to this vector. So according to parallelogram law, I will get this vector. So this vector will be, this vector I may call it as V bar. So what is this vector V bar? V bar is equal to either this component, let me call it as something like V1, that into that V1 into some vector, let me take E1 bar, unit vector in this direction E2 bar. So V1 into E1 bar plus V2 into E2 bar. So I can write this vector V1 into E1, this vector plus this vector is this vector. So, but the same vector V bar, I can call it like this, perpendicular projection ले लो, इधर से इधर तक, फिर इधर तक. Okay, so this, let me call it as this much is V1 and this much is V2. So I can write it as V2 lower. Okay, so I can write this as something like V1 E1 plus V2 E2. You see, the same vector I am representing using say different kind of components. Okay, so one I am taking as parallel. You take this parallelly, you draw it and take this component. Here also the same. Here you make a perpendicular kind of thing. Okay, so the same vector I am writing in two different ways. So that is the meaning of covariant and contravariant. Okay, I will explain when I come later. I will explain it in more detail. But when you have rectangular coordinate system, what happens is that the covariant vector and contravariant become same. So that is why so far you did not study two types of vectors, because you are considering the rectangular coordinate system in which you made all these kind of. From one coordinate system, how will you go to the other coordinate system? That you did not study up to now. Okay, so in the rectangular Cartesian coordinate system, covariant vector and contravariant vector, they are same. There is no distinction. Okay, so in general coordinate system, these things will change. So this is as a kind of visualization of what is contravariant and covariant. Now, I will take an example for covariant. One example you have seen for contravariant, that is nothing but the tangent vector. Tangent vector is it transforms like a contravariant vector. Now I take another example of a vector which behaves like a covariant vector. Then you will understand how even though they are vectors, they behave in two different ways. Okay. Okay. Let me take as an example. So I take let f of x1 x2, etc. xn be a differentiable, differentiable scalar field. Scalar field defined in a coordinate system. A coordinate system xi in Rn. Okay, so this is some function. Scalar function means its value will be a number. That's the meaning of scalar function. And scalar field means at every point you will get a value. So that is why it is called a scalar field. Because in space, in Rn space, you take a point and put the value of x1, x2, etc., xn, you will get a number. So it is a scalar. Vector field means you will get a vector corresponding to every point. So you call it as a vector field. So this is a scalar field. Okay. Now, what is the gradient of f? The gradient. You have studied in your third semester. What is the gradient of a vector? Gradient of f.
Yes, sir.
So E is defined as.
Yes.
Okay. E is defined as the vector field. Gradient will be a vector field. The vector field. It is usually denoted by del f. How will you write the gradient? Gradient will be del f by del x1, del f by del x2, etc. Del f by del xn. Okay, I just tell you have studied del f. Del f कैसे लिखता था आपने? So you write this as del means del by del x into I. Am I right? Plus del by del y into j.
Yes.
Plus del by del z into k. So this you work on f, operate on f. So क्या मिलेगा आपको? Del f by del x into I bar plus del f by del y into j bar plus del f by del z into k bar. So this is what you are. This I am writing is del f by del x, comma, del f by del y, comma, del f by del z. So if you extend this to n such variables, then I will get this. So del f is precisely this. This is called the gradient vector. Okay. Now the coordinates of this gradient vector in some other coordinate system. Okay, this is an xi coordinate system. So I'm writing in the x bar I coordinate system. In the x bar I coordinate system, coordinates, the gradient is given by. The gradient is given by. Okay, so all these things will have that bar. Okay, so del f bar or del bar f. Okay, so that is equal to, what will be that? Del ef by del x bar 1, del f by del x bar 2, etc. Del f by del x bar n. Okay, so in that system it is given by this. Now suppose you use the chain rule. Okay, so by chain rule, del f by del x bar I is equal to, how can I write this? Del f by del x bar, del x r by del x bar I. By chain rule, I can see this is bar I. Del f by del x bar I is coming here through xr. So I can use the chain rule and get this. Okay, so let me put it on. Now let us note, let us denote Ti is equal to del f by del x I, and T bar I is equal to del f by del x bar I. Suppose I use this notation. Okay. Then what about 1? Okay. Then 1 can be written as what will be 1? Then this will become del f by the a क्या होगा? आपको ये देखना पड़ेगा. So it is nothing but T bar I over I, that is equal to, here I have del x, this one, del f by del xr, del f by del xi is Ti, so del f by del xr is Tr. So I have Tr into del xr by del x bar I. Okay. So you look to this definition and definition of the covariant kind of thing. Thus the gradient of an arbitrary differentiable function is a covariant vector. So it transforms like this. So this you can see. What is this Ti here? Ti bar component here. T bar component here is del f by del x bar I. So it is a component of a gradient vector. Now I just combine the first one and both are vectors. Okay, what is one vector? One vector is the tangent vector. Tangent vector में क्या है? It is dxi by dt. Its component is like this. This is the component of a tangent vector. Okay, and the gradient vector का component. What is gradient vector? Gradient vector is del f by del xi. Okay, so one component is like this. The components of this is the tangent vector. And what about this? This is the gradient vector. Components of gradient vector. Both are vectors, but the transformation is entirely different. Okay, so I mean to tell you that why they are entirely different. You look to the contravariant. Contravariant means T bar I is equal to Tr del x bar I by del xr. So this is the transformation law for contravariant vector, and this is the transformation law for covariant. Now you look the difference. Here x bar I is in the denominator. That means the second coordinate system, that components are coming in the denominator. Here it is coming in the numerator. Here you are differentiating with respect to the x bar coordinate. Here you are differentiating with respect to x coordinate. Okay. So these, according to the transformation law, these two vectors are transforming in different way. A tangent vector transform like this particular law, and a gradient vector transform like this law. Okay, the laws are different. So that is why the names of the corresponding quantities here means vectors. They are, one is contravariant, other is covariant. So this is the idea of that. So what we have seen so far is, we have seen the transformation, and from the transformation we started defining tensors of order 1 only. Now we will go to tensors of order 2 Then we will define general tenses. Okay, and we will see where this what is this actually tensor? Such a quantity is there or not? That also we will see by taking the stress tensor from physics. Okay, so this is the idea. I think I will stop it here. If any more question is there, you can ask because only 1 or 2 minutes are remaining. I have to start with another topic.
Sir, this covariant vector and contravariant are always perpendicular.
No. ऐसा नहीं. Perpendicularity condition is not there. Perpendicularity is some other kind of concept.
Because,
See, you are taking perpendicular means orthogonal. That has got a different meaning. You have to look at it to the mathematical point of view. By definition, orthogonal how it is not like our usual perpendicular. That you can do it in 3 dimension only. If you have n dimension, what do you mean by perpendicular? There you say that it is orthogonal. Then it is based on some definition. These vectors. No. Either suppose you take a 3 dimension. You take a 3 dimension. Then what you are saying is right, because 3 dimension you have some surface. Okay, some surface, and tangent vector is this, and gradient vector is perpendicular. So in 3 dimensions, this is correct. At every point, tangent vector and these vectors are perpendicular to each other. But if you take a general space, such a kind of perpendicularity kind of concept you cannot say. Any vector, here what the definition says, any vector transforming according to this law is called a covariant vector, a covariant tensor, and transforming it by this law is called a contravariant one. Okay, its extension will be there. See, suppose you go to more dimension, maybe ij, maybe ijk, then the corresponding right side will be entirely different. Okay. So the perpendicularities you can visualize in this 3 dimension. That is what I am saying.
Can it be that the vectors transform in both ways, in contravariant also and in covariant also?
See, there are mixed kind of tensors. Okay, may have one. so there's all. Then what happens is that the physical kind of concept will go. Now you can have theoretical kind of the concept. Then it will be a kind of pure this kind of. Okay. So a contravariant vector, I can change it to covariant vector. Covariant tensor. Rather, I should say I am telling vector because it is in having rank 1. Okay, more rank, then I should say it is tensor. Okay, so there are tensors of both type, contravariant and covariant. So that will be or mixed also. There can be some contravariant components and some covariant components. That we will see. We will come to that. Okay. So when you go 2 or 3 classes, the idea will be clear to you. Okay. Any other question? Shall we stop? Okay. Thank you all.
Yes.